Coming up on News Center 16 at 6.
An Elkhart shooting leaves one person injured. What we know so far, the search is on for two women last seen in Gary who could be held against their will. And see the city of St. Joseph as it was meant to be, completely made out of Legos.
You're watching WNDU TV. News Center 16 at 6 starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Travis Robinson. First, we're going to do some weather here. Looks like we have an Arctic blast coming in, so Cindy's here to tell us what that includes. Cindy?
Well, the Arctic is the name of it. It's going to get really cold once again as we head through the next 24 to 48 hours. We're already down to 18 degrees as we take a live look over the Notre Dame campus. You can see a little sunshine on the horizon. Otherwise, we've been seeing a lot of clouds, and we've had some snow moving through today as well. And it's been a bit breezy this afternoon. Winds are out of the north-northwest at 13 miles per hour. Here's a look at 16 Doppler max, and a lot of that snow is moved off to the east. We're still seeing some very light stuff in Michigan. But look at the heavier snow certainly was to the south of us. We did have some, and it reduced visibility for some areas this afternoon across Michiana, but the heavier stuff is pulling away from our area. We're seeing those temperatures ranging from upper teens to upper 20s, but boy, is it going to get cold as we head through tonight. In fact, we're looking at temperatures right now a good 10 degrees colder than where we were 24 hours ago. The big news is that we are expecting record-breaking cold temperatures both Monday and Tuesday. We're going to break those records for the cold high temperatures if our forecasts are going to stay there. 15 on Monday is what we're looking at, 17 on Tuesday. Both of those would be colder than the record. Watch as those temperatures really take a dive this evening down to around 7 o'clock at 6 in the morning. Very cold for the kids at the bus stop. More on your forecast in just a few minutes. Travis.
Thanks, Cindy. Now to a developing story as a man is in the hospital and another's in custody after a shooting in Elkhart. Officers were dispatched to South 11th Street just after 1 this afternoon, where they found a 35-year-old man with gunshot wounds to his arm and his knee. The shooting happened inside the man's home. Officials can confirm it stemmed from a domestic dispute with the victim's brother. A neighbor saw the victim walking outside of the home and fall to the ground. That's when they called police and helped him with his wounds until help arrived.
We was cooking, getting ready for a birthday dinner, and my niece came over and she was beating and banging on the door, and she said it was a man out here lying in the yard. Me and my daughter, we came out and we put pressure on his wounds, and the police came and asked him not to talk very much.
The victim was transported to Elkhart General Hospital for some non-life-threatening injuries. And a Benton Harbor man was killed after a disagreement over money with his roommate. Tonight, we're learning more about the victim. Police responded to a call of a man down early Saturday morning to a home on Lake Avenue. There they found 58-year-old Sylvester Booth in the basement with a stab wound to the chest. A confession revealed that Booth was killed 4 to 5 days prior to police discovering his body. The neighbors say Booth was a good neighbor who helped out shoveling snow or raking leaves.
Shocked that he was there for so long without anyone knowing it, because there's a lot of traffic at that house, and the police actually were sitting out there a couple of mornings when I was taking my kids back and forth from the bus stop. So that's kind of eerie just to know that he was in there during that time and nobody knew it.
Booth's roommate, 60-year-old Jerry Lee Osler, was booked on a murder, non-family, other weapons charge, and disturbing the peace in Berrien County Jail. Hear more from Booth's neighbors coming up on News Center 16 at 11. In South Bend, several people are in the hospital after a hit and run this morning. Just before 2:30, police were called out to South Michigan Street, not too far from the main transpo station. 2 cars were involved in the crash and 5 people were hurt, including the passenger in the car that caused the crash. Now, police say the driver ran from the scene, but all 5 victims are in stable condition. Right now, South Bend police are really just searching for the suspect and will look at surveillance video in the area. Over in Lake County, police are searching for 2 women who have been missing since Monday and were last seen together in Gary. They're 36-year-old Jessica Flores from South Chicago Heights and 26-year-old Milena Cottrell, who's from Gary. Flores' family was handing out flyers in Gary this weekend, hoping that somebody will recognize her picture. They believe she may have fallen with the wrong crowd and is being held against her will. Now, Flores is a mother of 6 children.
I would say that I love you and I'm not going to stop until I find you. And I'm just telling whoever has her to please let her go. She has children. She has a family that loves her.
Police say the vehicle Flores was driving was found abandoned, partially burned on Chicago's South Side earlier this week. Her phone, however, last pinged in Gary, leaving them unsure as to who dumped the vehicle. President Trump has a tough week ahead, with 2 congressional committees demanding documents from the White House, including members of the president's family, as they investigate possible obstruction of justice and abuse of power charges. Plus, the president's former attorney Michael Cohen will be back on Capitol Hill Wednesday for another closed-door hearing. NBC News' Jennifer Johnson has the latest.
President Trump looking at another politically damaging week. The House Judiciary Committee Monday will request documents from more than 60 people within the president's administration, family, including Donald Trump Jr., and business.
To present the case to American people about obstruction of justice, corruption, and abuse of power.
Republicans firing back.
I think Congressman Nadler decided to impeach the president the day the president won the election.
The House Oversight Committee has demanded the White House turn over documents by Monday as it investigates whether the president interceded to get son-in-law Jared Kushner top security clearance over objections from intelligence and White House officials. And the man who raised eyebrows last week,
he is a racist.
Michael Cohen will be back before the House Intelligence Committee behind closed doors Wednesday as it investigates possible Trump campaign ties to Russia.
We are certainly looking deep into the set of issues around Moscow Trump Tower. We're also looking at persistent allegations that the Russians have been laundering money through the Trump Organization. I don't know that that's true.
The president using expletives to defend himself at a conservative conference Saturday.
They're trying to take you out with bull, okay? With bull.
And calling himself an innocent man on Twitter. But the investigations will continue ahead of the release of special counsel Robert Mueller's report. Adding to the president's problems, another House committee will soon request that the IRS hand over years of the president's personal tax returns. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
Now, the president could also be facing a tough battle to get reelected. A new NBC Wall Street Journal poll says only 4 in 10 voters say they would reelect Trump next year. 58% don't think he's been honest about the Russian probe, and 60% disapprove of his recent national emergency declaration. But Democrats who want to defeat Trump have hurdles of their own. The president's job rating remains stable, with nearly 90% of Republicans approving. And a majority of Americans remain confident in the economy, believing that there won't be a recession. Still to come on News Center 16, SpaceX launched yesterday to dock with the International Space Station and return to Earth. We'll show you the progress. And back on Earth, St. Joseph is looking a little more blocky. We'll show you the city made from Legos.
You're watching WNDU-TV News Center 16 at 6.
Juicy, sizzling steak, hand-tossed original dough, fresh cut onions, crunchy green peppers, a delicious 4-cheese blend, and our creamy Philly sauce. All in the best Philly cheesesteak you can get on a pizza. Right now, get the new Philly or any large specialty Papa John's pizza for just $12.
At Pfeiffer, Morgan, and Stasiak, we've seen the effects of distracted driving.
Terrible tragedies, often just to read a text.
We sue distracted drivers and get cell phone records to prove your case.
Pfeiffer, Morgan, and Stasiak, your personal injury lawyers.
Keep your projects moving with Masterforce FlexPower brushless power tools. Masterforce's growing line of professional cordless tools gives you power, performance, and durability for whatever you're up against. Masterforce brushless motors give you up to 10 times longer motor life, 30% more power, and 1.5 times more runtime over standard power tools. The perfect solution for getting your projects from start to finish. Masterforce. Power, performance, and durability.
Get 11% off everything, including Masterforce at Menards.
Sarah's last tuition payment sent off. Feeling good?
Oh, yeah. Now I'm ready to focus on my project.
This is why we plan. Ooh, you never cease to amaze me, Mike.
See how investing with a JP Morgan advisor can help you. Visit your local Chase branch.
The 83-foot bell tower rises high above the St. Pius X Church in Granger. Every detail, from the exterior design elements to the awe-inspiring sanctuary, was meticulously executed by Majority Builders. See more great examples at majoritybuilders.com.
It's Logan Knows-On time.
Get your Logan Nose today and don't miss the Logan Knows-On Luncheon March 19th at the Century Center, featuring special books by Special Kids founder Chris Ulmer. Visit theknowson.com or call 289-4831.
Juicy, sizzling steak, hand-tossed original dough, fresh cut onions, crunchy green peppers, a delicious 4-cheese blend, and our creamy Philly sauce, all in the best Philly cheesesteak you can get on a pizza. Right now, get the new Philly or any large specialty Papa John's pizza for just $12.
A milestone in space today for Elon Musk's SpaceX company. The crew of the International Space Station celebrated the docking of SpaceX's sleek new capsule named Dragon. The redesigned capsule is the first to pull up to the station in 8 years for the United States. It's carrying an instrumented mannequin named Ripley strapped to one of its 4 seats. And if the 6-day test flight goes well, a capsule could take 2 NASA astronauts to the orbiting outpost this summer. And here at home, excuse me, many people built their way around St. Joseph today for the final day of Big City Build. The event featured professional builders from the Western Michigan Lego Train Club. Attendees had the chance to view spectacular cityscapes featuring multiple trains in the Shadowland Ballroom at Silver Beach. Along with their inspiring Lego building skills, these pros can teach Lego lovers a thing or two about how to nail their next project.
I would recommend looking at what you created and pondering how can I add just a little bit more detail. If it's a house, did you add gutters? Did you add windowsills? Is there a garden spigot, for the hose?
And in case you missed it this weekend, the city will be hosting Lego building contests and events throughout the entire month here. And whether it's a rally, a ball game, or inside of a classroom, odds are most Americans know this patriotic tune. Today is National Anthem Day. Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner during the War of 1812. On March 3rd, 1931, President Herbert Hoover signed a congressional resolution making it the official national anthem of the United States. It's faced many controversies over the years, questions of lip singing versus live singing, standing versus kneeling, yet it stays the quintessential ode to America. Coming up in just a bit, we'll see just how bad this Arctic blast we're getting is going to be.